Hi YouTube, my name is James. I'm 26. I'm a software engineer and I live in the Tennessee Valley area. My inspiration for creating this video is first Caleb Hammer's financial audit for budgeting, for opening my eyes to my BS spending. Second would be Control Freak's uh, videos to actually record this one. I was inspired after watching a few of their videos, and I primarily want to record so that I can look back at my position from the future. A nice side effect of this would be creating content that others could potentially benefit from, but I don't suspect that in the long term. I have no internet presence. Maybe I'll stick to uploading one of these every pay period. Who knows? Um, and I'll plan to put links in the descriptions to both Caleb Hammers and Coin Troll Freak. So I need a budget. My goal is to get out of some credit card debt that I've dug myself into and to save for an emergency fund. As Caleb says, having bad debt and no emergency fund is an emergency, so I must put all of my effort and focus financially to take care of this. So my debt goal, I think I calculated it given the, I think I can get it knocked out by the beginning January of next year, but we'll see. I can use this to document that process, and we'll see realistically how long that actually takes. And so, to give a context of my situation, my yearly income is 98,600. That's gross, and so my net after deductions and taxes per 2 week period is about 2,500. My housing situation is that I rent for someone I know. I live with a supportive partner who contributes to rent and groceries. My car situation is foolishly financed, I would describe. Without getting too deep into that, TLDR, that's a the term is for too long with an interest rate that is too high. I drive about 16 miles to and from the office. I could have, if I hadn't had an older car that was paid off a couple of years ago, but I let my impulses get the better of me, and without financial literacy, I got into that pretty well. Car debt is bad debt, but substantially worse debt than it could have been. How did I get here? I assumed my income was going to outpace my spending, which after getting my wake up call from Caleb Hammer series financial audit and reflecting on myself, watching another guest on the show get grilled for their spending, it opened my eyes that I need to adjust my behavior. So that brings me to YNAB. What is YNAB? For those who don't know, it's basically a digital version of envelope management where you organize physical cash into envelopes. My dad tried to teach me about this method when I was a teen, but by that point, everything was digital in checking, and so I had nothing physical to manipulate. So when you learn to use the software, there are a few rules that to use this most effectively, and I'll talk about those here now. Number one is to give every dollar a purpose, and would be those envelopes in that management that other management strategy in YNAB, it's categories. Embrace true expenses. After several months of doing this, you'd look back every month to see what keeps reappearing, and after learning that, then you make your own category. You give them their own categories. And those two may sound daunting, but number three is more flexible. You got to roll with the punches, right? So, you can't. It's possible that you may not have thought of everything, and expenses arise that you hadn't planned for, and so roll with the punches states that you only need to give money a job, and that job can be flexible, so you can cover spending from other categories. So physically move cash out of envelopes and put them into the others. So I went to the YNAB site to read about these. They put together pretty funny videos, I think, educating their user base on this. I really enjoyed watching them. So if you want to YNAB gives you a free trial up to like 30 days if you want to try it out. I promise I will get to demonstrating what it's like to use it, but I want to give wanted to give context for what I'm doing. So I've been using this for a few weeks, so I'm also learning how best to leverage this tool. Open and for those who stumbled upon this video, I'm open to suggestions on how I could better do this. So feel free to drop a comment if you're interested. And so why am I using it? Surely some of you think, oh, I will just do pen and paper, or I love my spreadsheets, which I totally understand. If that works for you, that's awesome. Before stumbling on CoinTroll Freak's videos on YNAB, I tried the spreadsheet route, which was just a mess. It was just spaghetti, honestly. And I don't even think, I think I was doing some formulas wrong too. I don't think it gave me a realistic outlook of my situation, and given my financial emergency, the last thing I wanted to mess with was managing a spreadsheet. So I thought, let's give this app a try. So far I'm really liking it, but it's only been a few weeks, so time will tell on that one. So let's see here. So let's take a look at my categories I've got going on. This credit card payments is an auto category. I chose to link my accounts to this site so that the transactions would be pulled over automatically. As I said, I struggled to manage a spreadsheet, so any automation is good automation in my opinion. But I know from looking at the other community that some prefer to do all that by hand, which I awesome for them. I'm going to continue doing the automatic transaction importing route. So let's see here. So that's the credit cards payments category, followed by my monthly bills and subscriptions. These are my fixed costs. And I know what you may be thinking, if you're a Caleb Hammer watcher, why in the hell am I paying for Spotify if I'm in debt and have no emergency fund? I'm gonna try to keep it in the budget. I pay for my partners and I's. We do a duo subscription, so I'm gonna try to keep that funded. But using this app will help me remain cognizant of if it can remain or not. I have many other subscriptions I cut before this. I won't enumerate or go into the details of those, but Spotify was one that I wanted to stay. So that's I wanted to talk about that one first to get out ahead of that, because that might have been the first one that jumps out at you. My other categories are your typical like rent, my credit card payments, minimum credit card payments, auto loans, student loans, utilities like my phone and internet. I'm in a blessed position where my utilities are covered by the person I'm renting my house from, so thank you for that one. I haven't, and then so gym and auto registration, I personally view, so gym could technically be viewed as a subscription, but I mean, I have a dire financial situation. The last thing I want is dire health situation too, so I'm going to remain vigilant to keep that one funded as well, so that I can remain leveraging gym equipment. So that covers my monthly subscriptions, my monthly fixed costs. And some of my other categories would be other bills and subscription. These are like less frequent things that I want to plan for. You can see the first one there is the YNAB subscription, and yes, this tool is a paid tool, which it's $99 a year. I don't know the monthly figure off the top of my head, forgive me, but yeah, I put that into the budget because that's something I want to budget for and continuing to use this tool. The other one would be the GitHub Pro. I'm a software engineer, and in my spare time I write code, and GitHub Pro is, I think, a no-brainer. It's $12 a month. We'll see if that can remain in the budget. I would like it to. So we'll see after I start assigning money if that can remain. And then we've got and then we start getting out of our needs. So needs, groceries and TP. That's, grocery fund and TP. We usually go to the grocery store weekly, and we've getting woken up to my finances and budgeting. I it looks like we can cut that substantially from what it was before. I think food in general had been a third of my spending per month, so it'll be interesting to see if we can get that cut down, or just realize where that lands every month. So that takes fixed costs. Needs, groceries can technically be a fixed cost if you plan for it every month, but that's pretty flexible given I haven't done it long enough for it to be a fixed cost yet, so I'm going to keep it flexible for now. So furthermore, we've got long-term spending, and this is where my emergency fund comes into play. I've been scouring financial resources on the internet, and I originally had this at a 6-month emergency fund, but I've read that if you set the goalpost in front of you shorter than the actual, you'll be much more likely to continue to reach that goal. So I planted the first pull at 1 month, and I'll probably plan as I get closer to that goal. I'm going to extend it out. We'll see if that works. Again, I'm still learning how to use this tool, and if that's not how I should do it, then I can be flexible with it and change it. But that's my current plan. And some other goals: investing. I'm trying to follow the pay yourself first, so I don't want to. As Caleb points out, that get out of debt first. The market can't possibly make up for a 22% interest rate on credit card debt. So I'm trying to set a medium here and invest the minimum so that I feel like I'm making progress on my investments. So I'm going to try to keep that minimum. And it's fun to make meme stock picks, so I'm going to try to be careful and be super safe with those decisions. For now, I've just got the Acorns automatic weekly $5, the bare minimum. And further, the only other long-term saving that I feel wouldn't categorize as a want is even though I'm going to say the word I want, a house down payment. And you can see there's nothing here. I've snoozed it. It's on the horizon long term, so I'm not even thinking about it right now. And so I've got some short-term wants. The Caleb Hammer says you shouldn't give no fun fund, right? But I think I'm going to try to at least budget for a fun fund and a yum fund, which to me means go do some fun things that I budgeted for, or go eat out. And I know I've got like a coworker coming back to visit, and I would like to go see him and eat out basically. So I'm gonna try to throw some money that way. And what I've been doing now, as I have a gap in my grocery spending, I've been primarily pulling funds from the grocery and TP budget and pulling them from this groceries into those funds. As my financial situation gets better, obviously we're going to kick some money to that, be more mindful of what money could go into that. Unfortunately, I've got some baggage before I started this journey. I've kind of already committed to going to see Baby Metal in Indianapolis, and so I've got the tickets and the reservations for that. So, I mean, boo-hoo, it happens, right? I'm going to continue to plan for that. So that may delay my credit card goals, which I know is a big red flag, but I got to let myself some slack here. It's going to be no fun after this, other than the few bucks I put into those other funds in this category. Some long-term wants. I kind of would like to put myself through the budgeting course. I'm kind of just learning it all myself, but until I'm financially stable, that's kind of it's eventually, along with gift funds and trip abroad. Those would be awesome to have. Of course, it can't there's no way those happen in the short term. And as my financial situation evolves, I'm gonna try to account for more long-term wants and do more planning that I wasn't doing before. And then lastly, there's this comical oh heck category. things that I forgot to budget for in any other category. There's the credit card interest, which I'm kind of conflicted on this one. As you're charged credit card interest, it counts as a transaction if it's pulled automatically. And people suggest that you should budget that as any other transaction or loss of money, essentially. So that's what I'm trying here, but I don't know how I feel about it. You can see I've charged some interest for this month, and I've allocated some money towards it. That'll probably, I'll have to wrestle with myself when I start to actually assign money, on how I want to account for that. It's probably whatever the recommended monthly payment for my card is minus this interest. We'll see. And then stuff I forgot to budget for. Those are miscellaneous charges, things that were pulled. I feel like I try to minimize the unnecessary, but not everything gets through. So that's the stuff I forgot to budget for. All right, so that was a walkthrough of all my categories. Now let's assign some money. If you made it this far due to my financial emergency, I'm primarily focusing on putting out fires, but also thank you for making this far. And those fixed costs that are around the corner, and we'll figure out where the remainder goes together. So thank you for bearing with me. Okay, so as you might expect from a spreadsheet, you can click into these cells and you can write expressions, mathematical expressions. So I can see based on my target, which targets are a whole nother thing. I won't go into this video. Maybe if I keep making videos, I can talk more about my targets and what those look like. But you can see, given that target, I need 642 more monies in this category. So I'll go ahead and do that. 9.42. And that gets my rent fully funded, which is phew, right? We love having paid for rent and a place to be. It's necessary. We're going to skip over Spotify. My loan is accounted for this month. Oh, yes, this Acorns fee. I mean, I already have it. Got to keep paying for it. So there's $3 there. We're going to put money in the gym fund. And money. So I'm saving. This really should I'm going to drag this category into the other bills. My auto registration is due annually, but I'm saving for it monthly, so I got that mixed up. Sorry, guys. But I'm going to go ahead and allocate some money to that. And you can see, since this is a long-term goal, it only filled up that much, and I shouldn't expect any transactions to fit this category until, I don't know, like March of next year or something like that. Okay. I think that other than my debt payment, which we'll get to, that's pretty much all of my bills funded, which is a big relief. I think next we'll put let's see, I got 63.53 available in here. So I need to add, let's see here, I want to add 200 minus 63.54. So that'll fund me up to, well, I wanted that to be 200, so we'll add another penny. Okay, that's weird. Close enough, I guess. I'll have to figure out. It might be because of this activity in this category. That's kind of weird. Interesting. I'm gonna move on from that. What else? What else do I want to put things into? I mean, Spotify. I'm gonna go ahead and put money into it. I'm not treating this as a necessity, but like I said, I want to plan to budget for it. Oh, I definitely need to. So this is due before I get paid next. So we can see I need to assign $315.86 to this category by July 7th, and I don't get paid till the 5th. Okay, so this can wait. Okay. But maybe it shouldn't. Maybe I can save myself some grief for. Let's meet halfway there. I'm going to go ahead and fund some of it, and that'll give me more leverage in the next pay period. So this is needed by the 20th. I'm paid That's paid by the 20th. I think I'm okay to let that one roll over. Primarily because this is the primary card that will eat my available to assign. So, yeah, I'm gonna let that one ride till next month, which may or may not be a good idea, but this app allows me to see the overview of it. Okay. Let's go ahead and take care of what I need to assign this month to stay on track. That's how much that is. You can see in this box assign 51056. So let's go ahead and just pop that in there. Let's see. Yeah. I'm not having these credit card payment categories versus the categories I do by hand. I have to like fight with that one because the money that went in this Discover credit card payment is going to go up here. So perhaps I won't bother fixing it here, but perhaps I delete this category and assign it directly to this one. I'm not sure how I want to handle that, just like with the interest, so I'll ignore it for now. So what else do I got? I've assigned what I need to reach my debt payoff goal. So I could dump more money into this, but let's come back to that. Let's look at my other categories. I've got 100. I get back to that pay yourself principle. I've got for a direct deposit set up to an account, 100 per pay period or something like that goes into this one. So this one will be after meeting debt payment, all my other obligations plus debt. I think I already said debt payments. I'll come back to this one and allocate more money to it. But let's see here. Like I think I mentioned, I need to allocate some money for this fund, Yum Fund. I want to add $20 to that. I'm not going to touch these long-term wants. Let's go ahead and assign what is needed in this category, 166.67. So I'm on track for that. We can see that one's in November. So luckily I started this program long enough in advance to really save for that, which is awesome. And given today, which is I think my second paycheck since starting this, things are looking pretty bright, I feel like. So I got 200 available in groceries. I'm on track for that goal. May just dump the rest of this and hold. Because the emergency funds I'm putting into very mindfully into saving accounts. Or you know what? For the sake of this video, I'm gonna dump the rest of this into my emergency fund. We'll call it there. I feel like. So we'll quick assign the rest into my emergency fund. All right. I know it's been we're looking at 23 minutes here. Thank you very much if you made it this far. Again, I'm primarily making these videos for myself, and if this helps you, that's great. If not, then all right. Maybe I can, if I get on a set schedule with this, I can improve. Let's see here. I really think that's it. I'll catch you guys in the next one.